SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Are you a business owner looking for help with HR benefits and payroll? MWG Employer Services offers a wide range of services and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget.
I was so overwhelmed with HR stuff. MWG Employer Services took all the stress out of it and even set up my payroll. I couldn't be happier. MWG
Employer Services is here to help you succeed. Call us today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Busy Thursday upcoming. Glad that you guys are with us. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad, as we always are with you. Sports Talk Mississippi. We got baseball to talk about. Southern Miss. This is a disappointing. It's one midweek game. You're allowed a stinker on the midweek.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Disappointing result for the Golden Eagles last night. Ole Miss got down big early, came all the way back, beat
North Alabama.
I was about to say Evansville. No, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
But beat North Alabama last night after an hour and 10-minute rain delay mixed in there as well. Nothing better than a over-hour-long rain delay or weather delay
on a midweek game.
Against
a sub 200 RPI team.
So we'll talk about that. We got some college football things to get to. The NCAA fires back at Trinidad Chambliss. It's going to go nowhere. We'll give you the details coming up here in a little while as well. I've got, hey, Dad, you're actually going to be okay with the Ross Dellinger story. You're going to be fine with it. It's not one of those. The future of bowl season is being discussed right now. Pretty significant changes possibly on the horizon, but better. An improvement, I think, for bowl season. So we'll get to that and more with you.
Fine.
It's of the Ross Dellinger articles, this one is the least bad.
Fine. I'll listen.
It's the least bad.
I won't tune you out completely. So be it. We are in the Pearl River Resort studios. Don't tune out Pearl River Resort. That's a great place to find great entertainment, great food, and great fun. Whatever it is you like to do on the weekend, Pearl River Resort can make that happy for you. And guys, as the weather is getting better, it is finally spring forward this weekend. Those long days, get out on the golf course at Dancing Rabbit, Pearl River Resort. C Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. The best teams know how to get even better. That's why C Spire constantly enhances their wireless, fiber, internet, and business solutions for you. Visit cspire.com today. C Spire, inspired by you.
We have weather impacting the final non-conference weekend here in the state of Mississippi. You've already had schedule changes. Mississippi State going to play tonight and possibly maybe 2 tomorrow. Ole Miss going to play 2 tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. Obviously, as you can imagine, that means that
I tend to believe that Mississippi State will be around that time as well. I just, looking at the way the weather lines up, like the game on Saturday for State is right now scheduled for 6. And if I looked at it right, it's a 75% chance of not just rain, but thunderstorms Saturday at 7 o'clock. So there's no way that's going to get played. I just assume State's going to play a doubleheader tomorrow.
Well, if that happens, we will watch those games together stationless, but we will be, we'll have like 2. But we will also be streamed at supertalk.fm on the SuperTalk app, SuperTalk TV. So if you lose us tomorrow, you can get us just in a different way. Just not on your local SuperTalk station. We are for sure going to be without about 8 of our stations tomorrow. So, yeah, you can listen to us there. Weather impacting the final weekend. It's a shame that this weather is not coming next weekend because both Ole Miss and State are on the road. State's in Fayetteville. Ole Miss is in Austin. That would be great if this wasn't impacting a home weekend, but, I guess we can't always get what we want, as Mick Jagger once said.
That is what he said. He did say that. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's what he said.
Marty's wondering how many Mississippi Supreme Court justices went to Ole Miss.
I'm looking right now.
It doesn't matter.
It's 2 for 2.
But it doesn't even matter. The threshold to win an appeal on an injunction in this state is, it's impossible. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
4 for 4.
It's not going to happen.
I'm just saying. 5 for 5. We're in Mississippi. 6 for 6. And we got one. Mississippi State.
Yes.
So 6 of the 7 graduated from Ole Miss Law School at minimum.
Even if it were 7 for 7 Mississippi State grads, apparently, I don't know this. I talked to a lawyer that would know this. The grounds for an appeal it's basically impossible. And when it comes to something like this, anyway, it's basically impossible. It's a great headline that the NCAA can, hey, Pete, tweet all these things to make it look like we are really trying really hard here. And then when you look at the nuts and bolts of it, the NCAA is not trying. They just want to put their hand up and say, we tried, so Congress can save them. It's not going. Nothing's going to happen here. So we don't need to spend any more time on it really than that there. I'll podcast about that tonight.
What you're saying is that when we get to Sunday, September 6th at 6:30 p.m.
I was saving that for later.
Well, we'll just throw it in now. The Ole Miss Rebels will be led out by Trinidad Chambliss.
Yes. On Sunday, September 6th in Nashville. We will get to that coming up here in a little bit. Let's start with last night, though. And, midweek games get weird sometimes. It does happen. Great teams lose weird midweek games. So you don't want to overreact. But it is a very disappointing result last night for Southern Miss, beating Mississippi State, coming off of a big weekend sweep. You're in the top 10. Vibes are high. And you lose last night to Nichols, 3-2 the final score, only 5 hits for the Southern Miss offense. And what led to Nichols tying and then ultimately winning the game was a fielding error that gave up the tying run and kind of cost Southern Miss there. So just a disappointing result last night for the Golden Eagles. Pitched the heck out of it because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
But, only 5 hits in a midweek game after beating Mississippi State the night before is not what you expected or wanted to see.
When I saw that score, my first thought was the person who hit us up on the C Spire text line saying this would be the most Southern Miss thing ever, would be to lose this game after beating Mississippi State in a game like that. And at the time I read that text, I was just like, there's no way. This is a really good baseball team. It does go to show the fluidity of midweek baseball. Now, I'm not saying if you're a team that's lost, 3 or 4 games, or in Vanderbilt's case 6 at this point, you should just write that off as it's just baseball. But you have an emotional win. You play a team that you think you're going to beat easily. It doesn't go your way. That is something that happens all the time in the sport of baseball. So Southern Miss will bounce back this weekend, I'm sure, and go into Sunbelt play on a hot streak. Yeah. They'll start it up again.
Marty, always thoughtful. I do disagree here a little bit, though. He says midweek games are practice games anyway. Not
you can only lose so many. You can only lose so many. I don't think LSU is at that point because he's a Tiger fan. I don't think LSU is at that point yet. But right now, when we get into regional play, if LSU isn't just dominant in conference play, if they're a 16 and 14, 17 and 13 kind of team, you might be on the other side of the bracket. You might be a 9 or a 10 seed, and you don't get to host the Super Regional. So
the margin for error for Southern Miss because of the conference affiliation is much thinner. It's
much slimmer for them, no question.
So that's and somebody said on the text line that a loss like that might be good for them, and honestly, very well could. We heard Christian Ostrander, I think it was 2 weeks ago, talk about how I'm curious to see how this team responds to adversity in baseball, in all sports, especially in baseball. It will happen. They're going to have a day where they play poorly, they boot the ball around, whatever, and so now here's their opportunity to respond to that. What was it, John Calipari, after, what were they were like 28-0 or something like that. They finally lost a game, and in the postgame he was kind of laughing. He was like, I'm kind of glad this happened, so I can tell them that they're not as good as they think they are and get them to refocus. That could be that for Southern Miss, too. I would love to have been a fly in the wall of the team meeting or scrum or whatever after the game.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys thought you were good? You guys thought you were top, that kind of stuff? You thought you were a top 10 team? Look at you now, that kind of stuff?
Marty's right in that coaches are experimenting. That's why the rankings don't move. Sure, but the RPI moves.
Yes.
And that's what's going to determine the hosting. And, right now they're probably okay, especially because LSU will probably end up winning 18, 19 games in the conference, and they'll be fine. But if it's closer, or if they lose a couple of more of these, I can promise you from experience that it will hurt you in the hosting discussion.
Yes, it most certainly can. So somebody says a mediocre lefty will make the USM batting order look like the Bad News Bears every time. This has been a problem for the last 7-8 years. I'm here to tell you, though, that's a problem for every high-level baseball team. You get these midweek games. It applies to Southern Miss. It applies to State, Ole Miss. Anybody that has a high level of talent, that plays a high level of baseball, that practices against elite arms, and you got some dude throwing just junk with an 81-mile-an-hour fastball and a bunch of crap pitches that you've never seen before, fools those lineups all the time. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And, for Southern Miss, you just hate it, when you feel like you've got some momentum and you have a big win and you're like, let's just keep the momentum going. But it doesn't always get to go that way for them.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We're just getting started. So glad that you guys are with us. Talking baseball to lead on this Thursday. We'll be back.
From the Venable Glass.
Talk Mississippi. Your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi. On the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. So Southern Miss drops one last night. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Weird midweek clunker. Whatever. Ole Miss avoided one last night. They got down big early to North Alabama. It was 4-1 going into the bottom of the 6th. Ole Miss put up a 5-spot there, then an hour and a 10-minute rain delay. An hour and 10-minute rain delay. And any person, I think Mark Etheridge screenshotted, he was watching the game, and this was after the rain delay. Mm-hmm. There was a couple sitting front row behind home plate, and he circled it and was like, relationship goals right there.
That's a good, loyal woman.
No doubt.
Because it wasn't her decision to stay.
No shot. And, they're I don't mean to say it like this, but they're an older couple, so they clearly have been together for a very long time.
There you go.
And still sitting side by side at the Ole Miss North Alabama midweek game after an over an hour rain delay. That's impressive stuff. Kudos to you. But, could have gotten weird last night. It kind of did there for a little while for Ole Miss, but they got through it. That's what matters. There's not much to take away from that. Another error, though, for them. They remain.
Saw they had an error. A little early, though.
They're the worst fielding team statistically in the SEC as they get ready for conference play. And
feels a little early to talk about something like that, though. Be honest with you.
I have a new concern, I think. So I like the pitching staff. I really like the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Especially starting pitching. I think they're going to be fine there. And there's a lot of options out of the pen, and I think there's a lot of good options out of the pen. I think Ole Miss is going to pitch the heck out of it. And that lineup has a lot of pop. There's a lot of power, a lot of home run threats, basically top to bottom. I think there's about 7 guys in that lineup that every time they're up to bat, you're afraid they're going yard. Mm-hmm. Manufacturing runs, though, is a thing that I think
they can't play small ball.
They just very few just base hits when you got 2 guys on. Just very few of that. They are so 2 outcome. Well, I guess 3 outcome, walk, strikeout, home run. But it seems like, especially with runners on, and they've been really bad lately in that. Over the weekend, they were, 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position over the weekend. Say a very similar situation with Memphis 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
They're just not, so far anyway.
So they're like a major league team is what you're telling me.
They have an approach like a major league team, but there's going to be nights where they hit 3-4 home runs and they bludgeon teams. And then there's going to be nights where you got 2 men on and 1 out and they don't score either one because they're just not, they don't just put the ball in play. There's 7 guys in the lineup that just don't consistently just put the ball in play. And that's got to improve if they're going to win some of these weekends too. So a lot to like about the team. There's 2 things that I really like about them, and there's 2 things that are concerning, and we'll figure out which one weighs more come conference play. But I do think that's a new concern for me is they don't manufacture offense. They're going to hit the long ball or they're not going to hit the ball. And
that's a real concern when you know the quality of pitching that you're about to see is going to go up.
Yes.
You're about to face pitchers who give up fewer home runs.
You're in Austin next week.
Yeah.
You're in Hattiesburg next week.
Yeah.
So, but they took care of business on the midweek, and you got 3 more get-right games this weekend before things get really real. But they avoided disaster, and others did not. We mentioned Southern Miss.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Georgia got beat yesterday, and LSU. What's up? Well, what's up there?
And we got my cousin on here trying to justify everything. That's fine, but you can't keep losing these games because they're losing them differently too. Like they score 12 runs, but they give up 13 to Northeastern on Monday. And you can tell me, oh, well, they pitched a bunch of guys who won't pitch on the weekend. That's fine. LSU's non-weekend guys should be able to get Northeastern's hitters out. That should not be a either-or thing. And then last night you scored 2 runs. And, Louisiana is a good baseball program, but you can't get any hits. So it's not like they're just losing. If they were losing all of these games 12-11, I would just be like, well, their midweek pitching isn't very good. But they're losing them in different fashions. So that's weird. So, yeah, I'm just saying there's reason to have some concern about LSU. There's reason to have concern about Arkansas, for Georgia. Mississippi State has 2 losses, but they're the number 1 and the number 10 team in the country. I feel like my lack of concern for Mississippi State is justified there. If when State loses to a bad team, then my radar will go up. So it's just weird that they are losing these games.
Yeah, it is. And I did see there's a tweet that's going viral now where an LSU fan was like, I will sacrifice this baseball season for Lane Kiffin. For Lane Kiffin. Well,
let me tell you something.
The chickens are coming home to roost,
when you
buddy.
Make statements like, I'll do anything, God is listening. Ask me how I know the answer to that. Because I know that a lot of Mississippi State fans back in 2021 were like, God, if we can just win this, I'll whatever happens, happens. And look what you did. So, yeah, you got to be careful what you ask for. The good Lord will deliver sometimes.
It's like there's that scenario that people have. Would you rather win 1 Super Bowl and be the worst team in the league for 10 years or win no Super Bowls but make the playoffs?
In the pros, I would tell you that I would want to win the championship. Right? Because once you win a Super Bowl, you're always a Super Bowl champion. In college, because it's just so much more tribal, I would want to just be – I could live – if State had – let's just say like this. I've mentioned this before. Let's say State had lost to Vanderbilt, right? And then 2022, 23, 24, 25, they had been super regional, back to Omaha but don't win, super regional but back to Omaha, don't win. Lamonis is still here, obviously. But he's turned the program. They've made – at that point, they would have made 5 Omaha trips in 8 years. Is that better or worse than we won the national title, but then the next 2 years we didn't even make the SEC tournament, and then we fired the coach 4 years later? I think most people would take the national title, but you can make a logical argument.
Those down years are down.
Because they're so bad, right?
Yeah.
Especially in football. Like, if you do that, you're talking about in football, would you rather just be a team that's always either in the playoff or on the periphery of it, or you get 1 year where you win the national title, and then the rest of the years, 10 years, you're 5-7 at best?
Playoff every year.
Yeah, I'll take the consistency.
Winning is just so much more fun than losing.
And look, obviously you'd like to win the last game of the season. That's the goal. But especially for those of us who aren't on the team.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be able to, like, show up on Saturday and feel like my team's going to win.
I mean, Ole Miss didn't win the national championship. How much fun did Ole Miss fans have this past football season?
Exactly.
Even through the lane BS, everybody had a blast. So much so that they sued for more eligibility for the quarterback and won. I mean,
exactly.
You gotta run that back as best you can. I guess.
I really do think that's the choice you need to make. Is, hey, let's just be a consistent winner. And I mean, I would take that. I think I would take that. If you're telling me in a 10-year span I can get 5 playoffs in the other 5 years, I'm 8-4 at worst.
Yeah, getting close to the playoff.
Maybe I got a 7-5 in there or something, you know. But 10 years, 10 winning seasons, half of them are in the playoffs. Or 10 years, 1 national championship and 9 losing seasons. Give me the first deal.
I think I agree with you. Yeah.
You know? And I don't know how. I think coaches would probably try to disagree with you publicly. But coaches stay employed on option A.
Yes.
Coaches lose their job, ask Chris Lemonis, on option B. Gene Chizik is a great example.
Ed Orgeron.
I mean, Bianco this year, if they don't make the tournament, let's say it goes bad. I don't think it will, but let's just say it doesn't. Then you've missed it 3 out of 4 years. He's in trouble after winning a national title.
If they're really bad again, which I don't think they are. If they are, that you might be looking at. You might be looking at a change after this.
Exactly. So,
interesting stuff. Somebody asked if there's SEC baseball tonight. There is 3 different options for you. None of them super compelling unless you are a Mississippi State fan. Illinois Chicago's at Missouri. Santa Clara is at Oklahoma. And, of course, Mississippi State hosting Lipscomb tonight in Game 1 of that series. They moved it up for weather. As we told you earlier, Ole Miss is going to play a doubleheader tomorrow at 3. Would not be surprised if Mississippi State is doing something different with the schedule tomorrow as well. But we'll see.
I'm very hopeful that tonight, as the game goes along, they announce the plan for the rest of the weekend. Don't know if they will, but that's what I'm hopeful for.
When we come back, the NCAA has their sights on Mississippi State. Violators of the worst rules in college sports. No, I'm kidding, but there has been.
Ole Miss got hammered too. Don't act like it's just us.
Wait, I didn't see that.
Yeah. They put their.
They put their out there too. Yeah. So if you're not picking up on the sarcasm, every year you have to report the most minor of NCAA violations. One of Mississippi State's, truly, I mean, of all the dumb things,
I laughed.
It is so dumb. I can't wait to tell you about it when we come back. The Mississippi State Athletic Department violating the worst offenders of NCAA rules. We'll tell you about it.
Just women's basketball and track.
Yeah. Well, this time it's golf. The golf team. Corruption. Yeah. Terrible. We'll tell you about it when we return.
From the sea happening in Mississippi sports, you'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
All right. Go ahead.
Let it never be said that neither Michael Borkey nor Brian Hadad are afraid to talk about the tough issues. Not afraid to call the schools that we both attended and support, call them out on the carpet. When they break the rules, there's no place for that in our sport and in our country.
It's time to put the rules violators on blast.
The time has come for someone to put their foot down, and that foot is me.
And remember, we are in the era where a portal prospect took, at a minimum, 5 figures worth of money just to visit multiple schools. This is what the NCAA is cracking down on. And frankly, I'm thankful. that they're doing this, and good on them for policing the corruption in college sports. Produced by Mississippi State. Not the 5 figures at a minimum per visit that a football player got very publicly. Everybody knows about it. No, they're focused on these things right here. Sam Sklar was on this, friend of Hadad's. I've yet to meet him. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy.
Great guy. We'll see him at media days this year.
Well, looking forward to meeting him. Did some good reporting here. Mississippi State Athletics committed 8 violations in 2025, according to the annual NCAA report obtained by him at the Clarion Ledger. Now, they're all level 3. They do these reports every year. We're being sarcastic. But the contrast in what they're dealing with this and what is happening in sports cannot be overstated. Football, baseball, each committed 2 violations. Men's tennis, men's track and field, and golf all had 1 violation. All of them level 3. Let's go through them. Mississippi State football's first violation happened in April when a player in the transfer portal was incorrectly granted an official visit. It was a software mishap that led to it. The player went on an official visit at Mississippi State in December of 23 while he was playing for a junior college. He went somewhere else. But then in April of 25, he entered the transfer portal and visited Mississippi State again. The software that they use to track those things, because you can't take more than one official visit to one place, even though they're 2 years apart, didn't flag that he had already taken a visit. And so he comes and takes another official visit, and Mississippi State covers his expenses. Ooh, and they got popped for it. Level 3 violation. He had to make a donation. Now, at least it's not to the NCAA, it's to St. Jude. But he had to pay over $3,000 because of this. Again, it's St. Jude, so at least it's most certainly a worthy cause. But how dare Mississippi State? How dare they host an official visit 2 years after they hosted an official visitor? And, I mean, $3,000, not enough. Should be $300,000. How dare they?
I'll be honest with you. I would, tell you probably need to shut down the program. But that's just me. I'm known as an overreactor.
Yeah.
By the way, I just found out the Ole Miss article I was looking at was from last August. So maybe Ole Miss is doing things right. Maybe they've changed things up. I don't know.
The corruption only lies clearly with the software mishap. Yeah, likely story. The other football violation occurred in June when the program exceeded its 8-hour weekly athletic activity limit by 40 whole minutes. 40 whole minutes of extra work that they did.
If they had worked an extra 60 minutes, maybe they would have won 7 games instead of 5.
During a conditioning session that the coaching staff wasn't involved in. Here's my question, though. Why can't the...
That's what I'm wondering about. Like, why you can't go out there and just work out? Like, what does that mean?
They had to reduce its practice hours by 80 minutes for the week of July 27th through August 2nd, and rules education and a letter of admonishment.
That's got to be the worst part, is the rules education. That's probably like sitting through a timeshare talk.
But
I want to see the videos.
That just sounds so stupid to me, though. The players can't work out on their own without coaches?
There's something we're not catching here. There's something we're not, like, were they told they had to do this, but the coaches wouldn't be there kind of thing? I don't know the answer.
The baseball program had a violation in January of last year. Remember, this is from last year.
Right.
When 3 people broke the rules for observing players during voluntary workouts. They observed from the dugout for approximately 1 hour.
Here's my question on this one. Who's the snitch? Like,
yeah.
Who's saying, those coaches aren't allowed to be out there? Bianco down in Starkville keeping an eye on things? What's going on?
I think even Bianco would be like, what are we doing?
Like, Bianco would be like, what do I care? I'm doing it too. Yeah. So when we talk about, like, everybody's doing it, sometimes there's some hyperbole to that, but this is one I feel like everybody's doing. Like, the coaches are just keeping an eye on
Is the coach not allowed to be at the stadium?
Like, what is happening here? And again, I want to know, how did they find out?
Then in November, the program violated rules when a signee's father was given 3 tickets to the Mississippi State football game against Georgia while the signee was on an unofficial visit. The father is a former Mississippi State baseball player.
So we can't give former athletes a couple tickets to the game just because his son? I could be wrong. I'm almost positive this would be the Maniscalco kid. Just from the talk.
But a former player can't get tickets to a game?
Tickets just because his son's a recruit? Come on.
And this is the era in which a player, very publicly, everybody knows it happened, got paid thousands upon thousands of dollars just to show up to a campus for a visit. Yeah. And everybody knows it. But this is the stuff that compliance has to deal with. I mean, just what are we doing? And then this is the best one. The golf programs, the most corrupt on campus. The golf programs. I mean, this is just horrendous.
This is just out and out. Like, I'm surprised Zach Stellman still has a job today when I read this.
Right to jail is where he should go. Right to jail right away. For allowing prison. This to happen.
Yeah.
3 men's golf recruits were on an official visit and played a round of golf valued at $150 each, paid for by Mississippi State. That exceeded the $60 entertainment expense limit, so the recruits had to pay the difference, $90 each, to the charity of their choice. A recruit for the men's track and field team brought his girlfriend on an official visit, but she was not an approved guest and was provided lunch on the visit. The recruit had to pay back the cost of the meal at $22.
Wonder where they went. Two Brothers, Bulldog Burger, maybe the Camp House. I don't know. Was I there? I could have been there.
The women's golf team practiced for 1 extra hour the week of September 7th to 13th, so it had to reduce its practice hours by 2 for 1 week. I agree with you.
2 for 1.
Who is reporting that? Who told on them? Who's the snitch there?
Well, it is self-reported, right? So that means.
But who did it?
So maybe it's just like, look, we'll give them. You remember the line from the Departed where we treat the feds like mushrooms, we feed them, and keep them in the dark. This is what this is, right? You feed the NCAA this stuff so that they don't come looking for the other stuff that's actually happening that you don't want them to find. So I guess that's the thought process here.
I guess. But, I mean, however long this took, where golf recruits played, I assume at Old Waverly.
I mean, they might have played, there's 3 golf courses within a 10-minute drive of this campus.
Right, but Waverly's
It's their home course, but they also have the MSU golf course, and we have the Mossy-Oak course.
But still, they're allowed to come play, but they played a round that is valued at a little bit higher, and that's what somebody had to do the paperwork for this, and somebody at the NCAA is processing this. That's what's so dumb about this, man.
Yeah. It's just like everything else in the world right now. It's just a bunch of silliness. Just, we're out here punishing golfers for playing golf.
Yes.
They played golf. What do you mean he played golf? What is he? He's a golfer. What?
That's what they do on visits. They go play.
They go play golf. They want to see the facilities.
But your round was valued a little bit more expensive than you're allowed. But you're allowed to play, just you played at a course that's a little too nice? Is that...
Yeah.
Like, sorry that our golf courses are good.
Is that what
here?
they're saying? Are they saying, like, if they had played at the MSU campus course,
if it was valued at $60 or under, it would have been fine.
Now let's do some investigative journalism.
I assume student rates are different than like
price?
The public rate.
What's the rate for? Let's see here. The general public, 18 holes is $35 at the MSU course. Now, if you want to rent a golf cart, it's a little more. Is that a good price?
Yeah, golf is too expensive everywhere.
But is that a good price? $35 for 18 holes?
100%, yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's a good course too.
There's incredible value in that right there. I mean, you've got not necessarily here. Mississippi's still pretty good about keeping costs low, especially at Dancing Rabbit.
It's $25 for students.
Yeah,
$10 for junior golfers aged 13 to 17.
You look at, I talk to friends out of state, though. Mm-hmm. It's an arm and a leg to go play once somewhere. Yeah. So if you got that option, that's great. That is great. But yeah, I mean, long sarcasm aside, this is what the NCAA is putting resources into.
Yeah.
Is doing this, dealing with this, writing letters of, you better not do that again. We have millionaire athletes on campuses.
Yeah.
But the golfers practice for an extra hour. What are we doing? Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
Let's Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Somebody says, could Old Waverly just make the price for golf recruits a special rate? Problem solved. No, it makes it worse. Because then they're getting special benefits.
Yeah, you can't have that at all.
No. You can have players racking up thousands of dollars to take visits, but you cannot have a special rate for the golfers at the golf course.
Did they ever fix the cookie cake rule?
Oh, what was it? There was one where you couldn't put condiments on sandwiches?
Yeah. It was Duke, I think, that had that problem.
Oh, man. Speaking of golf, by the way, Hadad, you'd think this is funny. So the PGA Tour is at Bay Hill. That's Arnold Palmer's tournament.
Okay.
But it's a signature
the iced tea
event.
lemonade guy?
Yeah.
I know who Arnold Palmer.
This is SportsCenter commercial elite.
Yeah, it's elite. It's an elite. That's an elite one. Yeah.
But it's a limited field event. So the tour does what's called opposite field events, where the players that don't qualify also play in a tournament somewhere else. And this week they're in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. On the broadcast, a stray dog got onto the course and started chewing the heck out of one of those on-course microphones with the big fuzzy windscreens. And so there's this dog.
Like that number right there?
There's a dog ripping apart the windscreen on an on-course microphone.
You're right. You're correct. I did like that. That is funny.
I mean, think about it from the dog's perspective. Oh, a toy. Mm-hmm. That's all he sees there.
Some poor dog.
I know. Oh, man. I wonder if the NCAA were required to match the charitable donations, would they cut down on these petty sanctions? They've never been in it for the athletes. Oh, no, they totally are in it for the athletes, because in their filing to the Mississippi Supreme Court today, they made reference to the fact that if Trinidad can play, then Deuce Knight can't start, and we can't have that. We got to. Won't anybody think about Deuce Knight, guys?
That is a level of chivalry and compassion that I had not personally considered.
I got a good laugh.
Deuce Knight came to Ole Miss. He thought he was going to be the starting quarterback, and that dream is being taken away from him by the nefarious practices of Ole Miss playing a clearly ineligible player.
I laughed when I saw that. I mean, they're trying to argue to the Mississippi Supreme Court that, hey, this is bad because Deuce Knight, he's not going to get to play now. That's terrible, guys. Overturn this, please.
I get it, yeah. I get
it. As you can imagine, it's not really going to work.
Probably not.
Probably not. 601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. We will get an equally good laugh out of whenever Ole Miss has to file their version of that. And they also report petty violations where, like, a track runner's dad, ate at the team cafeteria and didn't pay for it. So they had to go through education training in order to remind him of the errors of his ways, something like that. But anyway. So there's been this big debate about Miami of Ohio and should they not get into the NCAA tournament or whatever. Matt Brown of Extra Points is what his newsletter is called. FOIA'd the communication from Miami of Ohio. Tried to figure out how many teams they tried to get on the schedule this year, because that's been the thing. Is, well, they need to schedule somebody. That's what Bruce Pearl said. Oh, they need to schedule somebody. The schedule's not good enough. They need to play better teams. Buddy, they tried. And not only did they try, they didn't get responses from a lot of these teams. But Miami of Ohio efforted, and they used there's a like a platform where it shows that, hey, your team has an empty week here and this team has an empty week here so you guys could play each other. It sorts it out for them. They reached out to Pitt, BYU, Ohio State, Kansas, and more. A lot of programs, most of them didn't bother responding at all.
Yeah.
They tried to schedule tough. So when Bruce Pearl sits on ESPN and, oh, their schedule's not good, it's not their fault. They tried, and most people didn't even respond to them, let alone actually set up an opportunity for them to play. So now we have on record, don't blame them for not scheduling good enough. Yeah. They tried. And you were, quote unquote, too scared to play them. Because they were good a year ago, too, weren't they? And basically the whole team came back?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
So, yeah, don't blame them. It's not their fault.
I think that's true about a lot of these smaller teams. You know, if you're – and I think it's true about, you know, think about like State and Ole Miss have tried to schedule power. They're not trying to schedule Ohio State and you know, and Miami in these non-conference games. They're trying to find somebody that's on their tier. There's only so many of these games to go around. So you're definitely not going to try to schedule your group of 6 game as a team that could possibly come in. You're trying to get as low on the totem pole as you can.
601-879-4395. 601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. So glad that you guys are with us. After the news, we will get to, well, we've got an interview coming up at 4:20.
Yeah.
And then I got to tell you about what I did a little bit earlier today. And unfortunately, Hadad is invited to do the same thing. And it makes me sad, but that's okay. We'll tell you about it after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
The best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi is back. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? Well, in about just under 15 minutes, Jacob Rudner will join us from Baseball America. We're going to talk. I want to ask him what's wrong with these teams that are losing these midweek games. What's wrong with Vanderbilt, with Georgia, with LSU? Maybe we'll get some of that. A little later in the show, we've got some scheduling news that we hinted at, I guess, we told you about with Ole Miss, but we'll get into that. And apparently, I'm going to enjoy a Ross Tellinger article, so that's something worth tuning in.
I think you're going to like it.
That's worth tuning in for. No question about it. Hey, guys, grass cutting time is here, whether you like it or not. And I just learned that for a limited time, Ag Up Equipment has the John Deere Z915E zero-turn mower on sale for just $8,500 plus tax. That is a big drop in price. Regular price is over $14,000. Guys, that's a great deal. Mower comes with a 60-inch deck and has a 25 horsepower Kohler engine, which seems crazy for a lawnmower, but they have larger HP zero turns as well. It's only a limited number available, and financing options are available too. Just talk to your local Ag Up store for the details. Stop by any Ag Up location or visit them online at agup.com. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? It's brought to you by Ag Up.
Yeah, I got to visit the and you're going to get – I was so mad when they were like, well, Hadad's going to come down soon, and I was like, dang it, I had something on him. And I can't have it. But, no, in all seriousness.
They got to let me know when that is, because I don't know when that is. No one's told me to come to Jackson or anything.
No, I was really excited that we got to do it, and I'm more excited about our partnership now than I was going into it. Uh-huh. And it was already a great thing, because I just assumed Ag Up John Deere, and this is what I told them. Yeah. I just assumed it was big farm tractors. Like, that's what you do. And don't get me wrong, farmers out there, we love you, and we want you to visit Ag Up as well, because they will take care of you. I was on their lot today. It's unbelievable, the equipment that they have. But it's all the way down to the weekend guy, like me. I told one of them, I need to go because I'm about to bring one of these mowers with me. And if you have just a regular yard like me, some hunting property, or maybe just some property outside of town, place where you got a family home that you're setting up with a lake on it, and from the big farm equipment all the way down to the weekend guy, they've got all of that. And most importantly, Hadad, two things are most important. As we tell you all the time with some of our other sponsors, being a Mississippi company is important. Everybody there was you. Was just like you. It's a Mississippi guy. And they care about other Mississippi people. Big purchases like that can be kind of intimidating. Mm. When you go there and talk to them, your guard will just completely drop. Because they know you and they will take care of you. I'm really excited now about, and I was before, but again, after meeting them and interacting with the people at AgUp, when you go, if you're intimidated by the process of maybe buying a side-by-side or a gator or a small tractor for your hunting land or just a lawnmower for the backyard, you won't be when you go sit down and talk to somebody at one of the 11 AgUp dealerships in Mississippi. So we'll keep doing this and adding more context and tell you about the great deals and the financing options that they have there. But they're just Mississippi people like you. And so go see AgUp. I'm excited about this, and I know Hadad will be too when he comes. I also got some deer sausage that I'm deliberating whether or not I'm going to share it with you. It just depends.
Well,
it's got to last in the freezer until you get here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off.
That's fine. It's fine.
Oh, man.
Whatever.
So we got sent this, and we'll reset a little bit because we have been making jokes about it, but Pete Thamel was the first on this. The NCAA did file an appeal to the Mississippi Supreme Court in a 658-page filing. They are asking the court to overrule the injunction and to expedite them overruling the injunction. In their filing, they argue that Trinidad continuing to play will cause irreparable harm to all of college football and its players. They also make reference to the fact that it's unfair to the backup quarterbacks at Ole Miss that Trinidad gets to continue playing because that'll work. Long story short, as we told you when the injunction was won, I talked to a couple of lawyers and just kind of sent them that, hey, what's an appeal look like? What's that process like? I actually read off verbatim a response that one of them sent to me. I texted him again today, just like, hey, the NCAA filed. What do you think? Here's what he said. Quote, I will cut my foot off and burn my house down if the Supreme Court accepts the appeal and overrules Judge Whitwell. I am that confident that Trinidad will be playing quarterback for Ole Miss in 26. So that is the legal expertise of one attorney here in the state of Mississippi. There is the likelihood of that happening is so small, the sun will explode and consume the earth before that happens.
Think of the what was the name of the show? It makes me think of the theme song from Squidbillies. My dreams have all been dead and buried.
What was longer, the injunction ruling?
How quickly did the judge write the 658 pages? An hour? Hour and 10? Isn't that what we learned?
No, so the NCAA's filing was 658
That's what pages. I'm saying. How quickly were their lawyers able to do it? 90 minutes?
Oh, they probably dragged it out because they get billable hours. Judges don't get billable hours like the attorneys do.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They probably worked on this for 15-hour days. Honey, I got to stay at the office. I got to keep writing this appeal. Okay. As he bills $1,000 an hour to the NCAA or whatever it is. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the NCAA gets a cute headline from Pete Thamel today, but the forget like where the judges went to school, as I've been told in Mississippi, to overturn one of these at all, regardless, is the threshold is impossibly high. So very high. You never want to say 0%, but somewhere between 1% and 0% is the chances that somebody besides Trinidad Chambliss will be starting at quarterback for Ole Miss, barring health, in 2026. So there you go. That's your update. We don't have to spend another second on it, but that is a new story out there. So
I was sending a text while I was listening, but I was giving away. I have 4 tickets available, or I have 3 now to tonight's baseball game. If you guys want one, you're on the C Spire text line. Let me know. I will transfer 3 tickets to you. One guy was just like, I just need one. So I said, okay, sure, I can do that.
Somebody says, but is the idea here to get out of the Mississippi courts and go to the U.S. Supreme Court? I mean, that would be years from now, though. I mean, if the NCAA wants to do that, fine, but they're not going to stop him from playing quarterback for Ole Miss this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's what they want, great. But
they left the hearing early to get started on the 650. That's what they're saying on the ceasefire text line.
Yes, exactly.
And so they're like, we gotta go ahead and start on this appeal now. It's 658 pages. We got to start now. Makes sense. Somebody's asking, do I have tickets to Tuesday night's game in Hattiesburg? Somebody on the ceasefire text line is asking me, a Mississippi State person, if I have 2 tickets to the Ole Miss Southern Mississippi game in Hattiesburg. I do not. But I do have tickets to Mississippi State baseball games here in Starkville, if you're ever interested. But since you apparently, I'm going to guess you're an Ole Miss fan, you can't have them. So.
Man.
Sorry.
Somebody says the case was so important to the NCAA they walked out before hearing the judge's results. I mean, Chuck Oliver asked me about this the other day, and I laid it out for him because, I mean, who watched the entire trial besides people like us, right? And I told him the NCAA was trying to argue that he wasn't sick, is what they were trying to argue.
Right.
They did not provide a dissenting medical opinion of any kind. They didn't call a witness of any kind. They did nothing. They didn't try to argue against it besides saying, And so, even though it was in the state of Mississippi and all of that stuff, all the connections to Ole Miss in this case, they didn't try. They did not try. There's no way that was their best effort to try to win that case, regardless of the insurmountable odds that were facing them. They didn't call a single witness. They didn't have a single medical dissenter of the 91 pages that the Chambliss side put. What did you think was going to happen? So, whatever. We will talk baseball. A nice break. We will talk baseball when we come back. And there's also a couple more things I want to get to today. Again, Hadad mentioned the Dellinger article about how they're going to fix bowl season. I can't decide how much I like it. I do like it, but I don't know how much. We'll tell you about it. Bowl season going to get a pretty dramatic change, possibly. We'll tell you about that. And also a longtime Saint, not retiring as was possibly thought this offseason, but maybe on the move. We'll talk about that, too, as we move along this afternoon. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio. Jacob Rudner on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back.
From the Venable
Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
And now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you here on a Thursday afternoon. We got baseball in the Magnolia State. We got baseball all weekend long. It is baseball season. That means Jacob Rudner from Baseball America will be joining the show early and often. And Jacob, let's start with Tuesday. We'll go back to Tuesday night in Hattiesburg. Top 10 matchup. It delivered. Mississippi State has played 2 top 10 teams. They've lost both those games. What are your thoughts on the Bulldogs after seeing them? I know you saw them all weekend in Arlington. What do you think about Mississippi State thus far in the season?
You know, I really like that team. And I think that there are going to be people who hear me say that and they go, how could you love that team after watching them lose to UCLA and then again on Tuesday to Southern Miss? First of all, the UCLA, neither really actually loss bothers me. I think that you would expect them to lose to UCLA. They played about as tough as you possibly could. I would even go as far as to say cautiously that, maybe there were some umpiring decisions late in that game that impacted the outcome considerably. And so you're as close as you could possibly get there. And then when it comes to a Tuesday, that's kind of up for grabs. I don't really put a whole lot of weight into a Tuesday outcome, whether it's, two top 10 teams playing each other or, a mid-major and a top 10 team squaring off and the top 10 team loses. It just does not hold enough weight. We can prove this. The NCAA Tournament Selection Committee is not going to really look back at those games much at all if they do. So, I think that it's a really great deep team. I think we've seen the qualities that we would expect to see. I believe that their rotation is full of guys that have first-round potential in 2027. I don't see a whole lot of downside with the Bulldogs, and nothing that's happened in the last week has deterred me from feeling that way.
So then let's turn that around and talk about Southern Mississippi. They have been really hot prior to last night's, out of nowhere loss. They beat Mississippi State. Are you higher now on the Golden Eagles than maybe you even were a week ago?
Yeah, certainly. I feel like every single time I watch Southern Miss, I come away feeling better about that team. I've been very public about how I feel about them. I think that that's the kind of club that you circle right now as you kind of go through the country and say, if there's going to be a team that's going to break the ACC, SEC mold of teams that get to Omaha, I think that Southern Miss is probably the easiest selection besides maybe, let's say, UCLA. This is just a team that's really deep. It's experienced. They have a rotation that I think does a lot of things right in terms of just the competitiveness and the experience and the physical maturity, even if it's not necessarily on the draft side of things. And I think that you can kind of make that takeaway about the entirety of the roster. They don't have a whole lot of impressive draft talent necessarily, but there aren't a lot of areas on that roster, if there are any at all, where you can look at it and honestly say, these guys aren't going to be really good at college baseball. And at the end of the day, that's what matters if you're Southern Miss. And so they check a lot of those boxes for me. I think that they're going to have a pretty easy way for the rest of the year to get to a point where you're going to have a conversation about being able to host. And once you get into that group, it's kind of anybody's game. So it's a top 16 looking team to me. I think in terms of just the seeding for the NCAA tournament, as far as the top 25 goes, win this weekend, I could see them being as high as, 8th or 9th. In our poll, they enter the week at 12th, and that's really just a poll dynamics thing. I think they could be a lot higher if the teams above them weren't winning as the way that they are. It's a great team, and Coach Ostrander does a great job.
Is there anybody around the SEC right now that looks a lot better than you expected them to be?
I think Oklahoma continues to be that team. We thought Oklahoma was going to be good, and our publication at Baseball America was kind of the high guy going into the season on Oklahoma. We had them 19th in our preseason poll. Most publications chose not to rank them. I would still say that they've been a pleasant surprise. The pitching is really good. I think Cam Johnson in particular is kind of at the forefront of this positive surprise conversation. He's been around the zone. We've seen him command his changeup really well, which was important to him. We've seen him kind of develop, an off-speed pitch with spin that he can go and attack batters with, which was always an important thing. And he looks like somebody that can kind of front a rotation finally, and that's been the expectation even since when he was in high school and was a prominent draft prospect. So that's a team that I really like. And they're going to do it differently, too, than most SEC powers will. I don't think they're going to have the big-time home run hitters throughout the lineup. They're not going to lead the league in that category, but they're going to get on base a lot. They're going to play the game at a fundamental level that's really strong. They're going to play defense at a really high level, and I think they're going to win a lot of games.
What about the opposite side of that? Somebody that you were pretty high on in the offseason that you really have not been impressed by?
In the SEC specifically?
Yes.
I don't know that I would say that I'm disappointed. That would be a strong way to put it. But I don't think that Tennessee has yet looked like the team that I thought they could be. And most of that is on the offense. I think that Tennessee's offense has been lighter outside of guys like Blaine Brown, the transfer from Rice, and it hasn't necessarily brought it in like the power department, which is an area where I thought that even after Tony Vitello left and the shakeup that occurred, they would be really consistent. That doesn't mean I'm concerned necessarily about Tennessee. I still think it's a postseason team. I still think it's a team that's going to avoid kind of that same fate that we saw last year with Michael Early, a guy who was promoted from within to this job and then kind of fell on his face in his first year. I don't think Josh Elander's on that track right now. I think that they're still going to be in the postseason conversation. Is that as a host? That's a better question for me. I don't know if there's going to be postseason baseball hosted at the regional round in Knoxville this summer. That is not something that I would feel comfortable saying yet, just because I need to see a lot more from the Volunteers before I can get myself to that point.
So, Jacob, we're seeing the SEC teams, it's been 2 weeks in a row now with these midweek losses. LSU has lost 2 midweek games this week. Georgia lost a second midweek game yesterday. Vanderbilt is probably already done in terms of possibly being a host with 6 losses at this point. When you look at those 3 teams, is it just they're doing things during the midweek, they're not doing on the weekend, and they'll figure it out when they get to conference play, or are there legitimate concerns with them?
I'm going to go back to something I said a couple minutes ago, which is that everybody needs to take a deep breath when it comes to the midweeks. They are really, truly not that important when it comes to modern tournament selection. I like to go back to 2024 whenever I have this conversation. NC State was the national number 10 seed, not in the SEC, in the ACC. They were the national number 10 seed with a 3-6 midweek record. You do not need to win your midweek games to host. Coastal Carolina last year, 7-5 in midweek games. Still a host, still went to the national championship series. LSU has had multiple runs deep into the NCAA tournament and was not good in those seasons in the midweeks. So it is definitely doable. We have seen teams host, even if they aren't successful in the midweeks. I believe every year dating back to 2021, there has been at least one top 16 team with 5 or more midweek losses. I wouldn't worry about it. These teams are going to go out and they're going to do their thing on the weekends. If they continue to do that, they won't have to worry about what they did in the midweeks. The conversation becomes more interesting if you don't take care of business on the weekend, because then you look back at the midweeks and say, if we won those games, we would have got to a win total that would have been a lot more helpful for us when it comes to seeding or at-large consideration. And even that will matter a lot more for teams in the Big 12, in the Big 10, than it will in the SEC. If you're going to go and be 13-17 in the SEC, it doesn't matter what you did on the midweek so much. You will probably get into the tournament. The committee has made that clear to us so far. So, is it a concern? I guess you could draw it up to that if you want to look at it as, hey, these guys aren't consistently playing their best baseball. What do they need to do to figure it out to be able to do that? That's a fair question. As far as, is it going to impact these teams in the tournament? I can confidently tell you here it will not.
Even with Vanderbilt, with 6 losses already?
I really don't think so. If Vanderbilt is going to go out and be successful on the weekends during the season, Vanderbilt will not have a problem. We are seeing right now, and look at the numbers. Last year, the SEC put 13 teams, a record, into the NCAA tournament. If you can be even half decent in SEC play, your schedule will be so strong that the committee is not going to overlook you. And they're not going to go back to your midweeks and say, what did you do on a Tuesday in February? Did you win your midweeks in March? They don't care. They want to see if you go out on the weekends and you take care of business. And that does include non-conference play. So if you're talking about Vanderbilt, there are more losses for Vandy on the weekends that would concern me right now than it would be with their midweeks. LSU has had a couple really bad losses in the midweeks, and I don't care about them. They're still the number 2 team in the country for a reason, because they've gone out on the weekends and they've handled what they needed to handle. So, again, I just have a hard time grasping onto, midweek fear creation, because I don't think it's a thing. And we've seen in the last couple years, there's evidence that you don't need to win those games, even at a 50% clip, in order to be a top 16 national seed. And that's been the case for teams that are outside of the SEC, which is the kind of schedule that provides you the most cushion. So it's very doable. It's not super concerning. And if you're going to have an SEC strength of schedule, midweeks are not going to impact you that much, if at all.
Good stuff from Jacob. Jacob Rudner, Baseball America, man. We will talk to you again very soon.
Great talking to you guys, as always.
Jacob joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Somebody mentioned on the text line, I would love to ask him then, okay, what happened to State in 2024 then? They won 17 conference games, but they had 6 bad non-conference losses, and that they didn't host.
I think he was merely talking about making the tournament, as somebody in the text line points out.
And that's a good point. He is just talking about making the tournament. It's not about hosting so much. Hosting is a different. Like Vanderbilt's not going to host.
Nope.
They unless they go, 23-7 in the SEC, they're not going to host. But they can still get in.
LSU at this rate,
LSU has their wiggle room is low right now. They need to start winning games to host. They'll get in, yes, but to host is different.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort studio. We made reference to it earlier. Schedule news for football in the SEC, specifically for Ole Miss. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
From the C Podcast, Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Darius Rucker and Hootie and the Blowfish bringing us back in on that one. We did have the drummer of Hootie and the Blowfish
that album
on this show
was part of the freshman orientation package at Mississippi State my freshman year. If you didn't own Cracked Rear View, I don't think you were actually a student. Literally, everybody had that CD. I don't know a single person that didn't.
I mean, it was truly great.
It was a phenomenon.
Okay, now that you said that, song list
for
Cracked Rear
View. Hannah Jane, Hold Her Hand,
Hold My Hand,
Hold My Hand. Is it Let Her Cry?
Let Her Cry.
Only Want to Be With You.
Nailed it. That's the top 4 that you nailed. 5 is my favorite, actually.
5 is 5 Drowning?
That's 7. Good guess. Running from an Angel.
Running from an Angel. Is 6 Time?
6 is I'm Going Home.
I'm Going Home. Then Drowning. Then Time.
Yep.
Not Even the Trees.
Oh, close. Look Away. And then?
Look Away, then Not Even the Trees. Then Goodbye.
You nailed it. That's the 11 songs on the...
They're still on the Spotify.
I mean, great songs, but I can't believe you just got an 11-song
I knew all the
album.
songs. I just didn't know I didn't know the order. Yeah.
That close to being in order. That is so impressive.
Wow. I have a weird brain, man.
What a great album that is.
It's back in the old days of CDs. That was one you could just put the CD on, and you were good for the next 90 minutes or however. You didn't have to change anything. I'll just go and tell you if you have back in the old days, the old 6-disc changer back in the day. That's how you knew you were highfalutin. You had the 6-disc. You would have my age group would have had Cracked Rear View, would have had Blues Travelers 4, would have had Tom Petty's Wildflowers, would have had, if you want to go a little heavy at this point, I might go AC/DC Live.
Oh, that's such a great album too. That Thunderstruck intro.
Yes, that's a great one.
Ooh.
And then it just depends. Like you could go Better Than Ezra's Deluxe. Could make the trip. Or if you want to go grunge, we can go Pearl Jam. I would have had Verses in at this point. I would not still have had 10. And then Stone Temple Pilots' Purple would have come out at this point, too.
What a great era.
If you want to go classic rock, classic rock would have been Steve Miller Band's Greatest Hits, Bad Company's 10 from 4, and the Eagles' Greatest Hits would have been in the changer. I'm just, And then you might find somebody who's got Soundgarden, got Super Unknown in there. I could have been that guy. Bush, when they brought out 16 Stone, would have been in that group somewhere.
You're just speaking my language.
That was the peak, the pinnacle. Smashing Pumpkins, you would have had Gish in there for sure. Under the Table and Dreaming would have absolutely been in there. Yes, I forgot about Dave Matthews. I don't listen to Dave Matthews as much anymore. But everybody had Under the Table and Dreaming. Yes, 100%. The Blue Album from Weezer would have been in there. Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Everybody had it.
Is that the Ironic and?
Yeah, that's Ironic and you Ought to Know and all that.
Dude, she's awesome.
These albums were phenomenons, man. It's like you'd hear this song and then a week later, everybody had that CD. Everybody had it.
Yeah.
We all had them. So
somebody says incredible album they came to is that Kunsan Air Base in South Korea when I was there in 2002. Well, first of all, thank you for your service, Mark. We really appreciate you.
Where is that? Where am I? 10 from 6. You're right. My bad on Bad Company. But everybody had that.
Man, that's
a little rock and roll fantasy.
Gosh, now it's like Chapel Roan's doing something weird.
Yeah, albums don't exist like that anymore.
They don't.
Now it's just singles. Like nobody buy because you don't buy the album anymore. You don't even have to buy the single. It's just download it on Spotify, and not even download it. It's just on my. It's on my. So I couldn't tell you the last time. I must have said something to get Siri going here. I don't need you, Siri.
The 311 Blue album?
I had it. Have I ever told you my 311 story? It's not mine. It's a friend of mine's.
No.
This is a great story. A buddy of mine here in Starkville drives to Oxford to see 311 at the Gin back in the day, right? Are you old enough to remember the Gin? Was the Gin there when you were?
I think so.
Okay. So he goes to see 311. Comes back the next day. We're like, hey, how was the show? He's like, oh, it's great. 311 was fantastic. That opening band was really weird, though. They had a bunch of, like, horns and saxophones. Really weird. The lead singer was hot, though. It was No Doubt.
No way.
Yeah. Back when they were, like, a full ska band.
Oh, man.
So they opened for 311.
That's so awesome, though.
Yeah.
Gosh, she was super talented back then, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not that she's not talented now, but
311, yeah, that's a 90s band that they're still touring.
They are, and they're still sharp too. Yeah. They sound good.
Yeah.
311 was.
Counting Crows, August and Everything After. Everybody had it.
See, hey, like in high school, like we were into that kind of music though. That was still hanging around.
Oh yeah.
From 05 to 09, I guess, were my high school years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that album is still good today. Like, you can still listen to it. Like, the songs on there are still good. But when it came, Counting Crows was another one that when they came out, it was huge. 10,000 Maniacs Unplugged. I've got a couple songs off of that. Just turned from 40 years old to 16. Thanks, Hadad. You're welcome. This is fun stuff. You know, so it's weird, like, it's so hard for me now to find new music, too. Like, I got to have somebody recommend it.
Yeah, I try to use
because I don't listen
Spotify
to the radio
for that
as much. You know, I try, but it's like I just get caught up. Like, I found the two bands that they're not really new, but the bands that I have been listening to that are newer are Greta Van Fleet. Mm-hmm. And I had so many people like, hey, Dad, you love Led Zeppelin. You would love Greta Van Fleet. And I could never just, like, pull the trigger. Just be like, all right, I'll listen to it. And then I went to the Ole Miss Mississippi State game 2 years ago in Oxford. 2 years ago? In 24. And Riley Maddox's walkout song was Highway Tune. And so hearing that song blaring, I looked over at Robbie. I was like, okay, I get it. I will get some on the Spotify and I'll listen to it on the way home. And I did. Now I have like 10 of their songs. The other one, this band Sleep Token.
You showed me them once. Yeah.
So I saw, there's these videos they do on YouTube from this company called Drumeo. Do you ever watch them? Mm-mm. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what that is.
They're drummers. And what they do is they make drummers come up with the drum tracks to songs they've never heard.
I've seen that. I saw Chad Smith do
he did 30 Seconds to Mark. He did. Oh, yeah, he did. Well, no, he actually drummed on that song. Wait. He's the drummer on that song.
So he did 30 Seconds to Mars. He did another one, too.
He did Dia Lupa, but he was just doing the track that he did.
Oh.
So the one I saw a Sleep Token one, I was like, what is this band? And so I got into them a little bit, and they're cool, but it's just really hard to find. Appetite from Destruction absolutely was in everybody. That's a cassette, Dan. I had Appetite for Destruction on cassette. That was... I remember listening to Mr. Brownstone before the football games, you know, just like
heck yeah,
just sitting there in my locker with my cassette Walkman, live throwing copper.
That's another one.
That's a good pull. That's
first time texter right there. Appreciate you being here.
Outstanding work. Metallica Black Album, everybody had it. Judging by your list, Volbeat. I like Volbeat. They're a good band. Mm-hmm. I listen to some Volbeat.
There's some. I don't know if you're into like the pop punk era, like the Blink-182 stuff. There's one that I have found.
What's that?
Neutral Snap is what they're called.
I'll check them out.
Based out of New Orleans, actually, is where they're from, but they're doing modern. The kids are going to be all right.
See, when you need some 80s mixed in. I mean, I had plenty of 80s, though. Like that's. But we were talking about CDs. Like, my 80s stuff was on cassette back in the old days. I had Slippery When Wet. I had Girls, Girls, Girls. I had, I had Def Leppard. I had Pyromania. Not Pyromania and Hysteria. Hysteria is another one. There was not a white kid in America that did not own Def Leppard Hysteria. We all had it. Like, he got it at church, I think. It was unbelievable. Jar of Flies, I would not have had Jar of... I had Jar of Flies later, but, like, at that point, it would have been dirt for Alice in Chains. Would have had a little Rooster, a little of that on there. REM, the album when I was in college would have been Monster with What's the Frequency, Kenneth, would have been on there.
I never really got into REM.
I like REM. They're a good band. The Spin Doctors had that. That was because that's another cassette one.
God, I guess Cranberries. That's another. What a unique voice too. She's awesome.
Loved her. Yeah, everybody had. What is the name of that album? What is the name of the album? Oh, I can see it. It's a long name. No Need to Argue. That's what it was.
Yep. 1994. I was 2. I hate to do that to you.
Candlebox. Everybody had that Candlebox. Everybody had that self-titled CD, which had, you were basically just buying it for Far Behind.
One song, yeah. You had to buy albums for one song back then.
There's another good song on there called Cover Me. I'm a big fan of that song.
I think I've heard it.
It's good. We might continue this. We might continue Music Talk Mississippi when we come back, as we are having a little throwback to the 90s. What started us on this, by the way? Oh, it was Hootie was playing.
Hootie was the intro music, yeah.
You never know where we're going to take you on the ride. We'll be back in just a minute. Sports Talk Mississippi, Brian Hadad, Michael Borkey with you on a Thursday.
Hearing Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Most of the time, Borkey and Hadad with you. We got onto 90s, alt-rock albums, thanks to Hootie and the Blowfish. This validates the take. Matchbox 20 finally gets brought up. It took 150 messages before they get brought up.
A little later in the game for me.
But that's album...
that's like junior, senior year of college.
Yourself or Someone Like You has Real World, Long Day, 3 a.m., Push, Back to Good, all on the same album.
It's a delightful album.
That's just excellent.
So a lot of people are saying Widespread Panic. That's just not for me. That's a Borkey thing. I'm not.
I do know Widespread Panic. I'm not the biggest fan in the world, but I do like some of their stuff. It's the songs that take 20 minutes to play that just kind of it gets old to me. Yeah.
So somebody mentioned the Presidents of the United States of America. Everybody had it for 2 songs, but everybody had it.
What about Chevelle?
A little late.
Late.
We're talking. I'm married by the time Chevelle starts coming.
I see. I've seen them live once. Great show, but they had an alien theme going on, and I couldn't figure out what the purpose was. Maybe other than just hey, we believe in aliens, but it was just all the background video and stuff was UFOs, and they had an alien mannequin on the stage, and singing about depression, and it was a good show, but
yeah.
I did not consume the appropriate things that other people consume to go to shows like that for me to have fully appreciate it, I think. If that makes sense. Not really my thing.
We have some interesting news. I guess we'll get to it in the college football fix, but we may have to push back on our friend Ross Dellinger.
Okay.
Ooh, the Gin Blossoms. That's a good one.
That is a really good one. I am curious as to what you're talking about because I'm not seeing anything, but we'll get to that for the college football fix.
Sometimes I handle things. It'll be all right.
There you go. We'll get to that for the college football fix coming up here in just a little bit. SuperTalk considered doing a show called Music Talk. Honestly, that would be a heck of a lot of fun. Like a once a week after hours.
Yeah.
Talk to people that are from Mississippi that do music.
Well, and we have some of that with Steve Azar.
Yeah, he does.
Mississippi Minute, but
and he would help us with that too.
I think that'd be much better as a podcast. To be honest with you,
the white whale guest being Haley Williams.
That's the white whale guest
for me.
Okay,
she's from Meridian.
I'm just saying.
For me, yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to talk most of the time, but. All I'd really be able to say is, I love you, I don't know if I'd be able to get any real questions out, but,
I'm trying to think of who mine would be on that. I don't know, but
who would be your top 3 guests of any kind?
Oh, okay,
of any kind
to get on the show.
White whale guests that you want to interview one-on-one.
Dak. It's because I know that it would do numbers, right? Like,
oh yeah,
that would be one. Triple H.
Ooh, good one.
And I need like an actor or something. Christian Bale. In some of my favorite movies.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's we'll go with that.
I like that. Mine is any president of the United States. I mean any. I would love to interview any president.
You say that, and then you saw what happened to Pate.
Yeah, but the internet's dumb.
Well, that's got nothing to do with that. Like, that interview is objectively not good.
And it was only, like 8 minutes?
It's like 8 minutes.
Like
he was
that?
promised 35. I mean, politics aside, you know full well going into an interview with Donald Trump that you don't control that interview.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. He doesn't know anything about college football.
Yeah, but see, I wouldn't want to talk about college football. And not even political policy.
Pate thought he was going to get college football out of Donald Trump, and that was never going to happen.
No, that was a mistake. But I want 3 hours with a president. I want to talk about what life was like as a president, just your day-to-day, that kind of stuff. Or, even better, like the Secret Service agent that is closest to a president would be a sweet interview. Think about the things that they have seen and that they have heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had somebody interviewing the president the other day, and he was like, oh, yeah, aliens exist, and he didn't follow up. We needed you on that one.
I think Jim Nance, it's kind of obtainable, but think about the volume of things that he has called.
That'd be a good one.
The elite moments that he has been on the call for would be great. And then Robert Plant. I would want to interview
That's
Robert
a good
Plant.
one. That's a fantastic choice there. Yeah. Is he? Yeah, he and McCartney, I guess, like the two. Jagger's still around. Those are the top 3, though, of like the legends of rock and roll that are still around.
Yeah. The college football fix when we come back. Hadad's got a story for us, then we got to tell you about.
I'm working here.
Okay, maybe has a story for you, and then we will tell you about the scheduling news for Ole Miss, the season opener changing a little bit, and then there's possibly a huge change coming to bowl season that we'll tell you about as well. All in the next hour after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Boom! Are you ready for some football?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We got a busy 5 o'clock hour coming up. Some scheduling news around Ole Miss, some bowl game news, and we have time to get to it. But right now, for your college football fix, a fascinating story that is unfolding right now for Mississippi State's offensive line room. We will do that right now.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. Best-selling truck in America is. It's the best-selling truck in America for 49, sources say 50 years. Don't waste your time. Don't mess around with anybody but the best. Visit your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right.
Yeah, hey, Dad, give us the context.
I'm just, looking at a Mississippi State message board, and apparently Jeff Levy went on a podcast. By the way, Coach, the hell, bro? You're going to break news. Why don't you come on the most popular Mississippi State podcast? That would make sense to me. But fine, he didn't do that. That's fine. He announced today that UAB transfer Brandon Snee, who is a guy that we had kind of penciled in as going to compete for that left tackle spot at Mississippi State, has no eligibility left. That apparently his time at Division II, he thought he was going to be able to get a red shirt because he played in 4 games in 2022, and the NCAA denied that. Mississippi State told the young man, it's like, hey, we'll fight this. We're willing to, and this is a time where you got a great chance to win. And the young man basically made peace with it and said he didn't feel like he had much of a case and decided to go on and begin his training. He'll be at pro day, and he'll try to go to the next level. That's a big blow for Mississippi State. We've talked about it. We talked about it a lot. That State's number one priority going into the portal season was get a left tackle. Obviously, they got involved in the Jordan Seaton sweepstakes, but they came up short there. Snee was kind of the fallback option there, and now he's gone for Mississippi State. This is first off, I could have dealt with this news like 5 hours ago before I recorded a podcast segment about the offensive line and talked about Brandon Snee. Really, guys, you really screwed me on this one. But that's a big blow for State. And, the NCAA rules, it feels like it really is 1 for 1 and 1 for another. But he did, the NCAA rule is that you can play 3 games in a redshirt season in Division II. He played in 4. My guess is he probably, if he wanted to push for it, could have gotten it, but he felt like, he did play in those 4 games, so he's just going to move on. That's a big blow for State.
It underscores the stupidity of the structure of the NCAA, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing here. That's so remarkably stupid. And then these people will turn around and try to tell you that they care about the student athletes, that they're for them. They represent them. Garbage. Why on earth is there a different threshold for Division II than Division I? Why are the rules, I guess maybe they're changing them, but why were the rules different? Todd Cooley talked about this last time we had him on our show with a practice situation that Division II wasn't allowed to practice for a day during game week. I think it was election day, right, is when they weren't allowed to practice, but Division I could?
Right.
Why is there a different redshirt threshold for Division II than Division I? They are both under your umbrella. They're both football programs. And then you turn around and say that they're all equal, that everybody's the same, and you have to apply the rules the same for everybody. But your rules are not the same. And then young men like this, who may or may not be ready for the NFL, at this point, if you haven't been getting ready for the NFL, there's a reason that he was returning to school or trying to return to school.
Right.
So now, in March, he has learned, you can't play, sorry, good luck. That's garbage. The way it's structured is garbage, and it's only harming the student athlete, because you guys are obsessed with calling them student athletes, NCAA. You're only hurting the student athlete by doing this. It's an arbitrary misapplication of your own rules that are inconsistent for no good reason. There is no reason that he should not be allowed to play for Mississippi State this year. None. Zero. None. It's unjustifiable. It's pathetic. It hurts his football team, but most importantly, it hurts him for no reason. You are defending nothing about the integrity of the game by not letting him play. It is so stupid.
Yeah. It's a tough blow for Mississippi State. No question about that. And so Mississippi State's biggest issue this offseason was improving its offensive line. Their biggest issue last season was, and I made this comment on the podcast, State averaged 30 points a game, and they looked competent offensively at times, right? To be able to do that with as bad as they were on the offensive line, it really does show you the ceiling of the Jeff Lebby offense. If he had anything close to an average offensive line, they might average 40 points per game. Instead, now, this spring, I don't, I guess we'll find out as we go along, but this offensive line, I have no idea what it's going to look like. The only thing I would feel comfortable telling you is I think Cannon Boone will start at center. I feel pretty comfortable telling you that, but it's possible he could get beat out by DJ Chester or somebody else. This is a big blow, And again, this was the guy somebody put on the text line. This was the fallback guy. You wanted Seaton. You got outspent in that one, and now the guy that you brought in to hopefully could replace him, he's gone too. So
Somebody says D2 play less games. 4 games in D2 could be almost half the season. There are D2 teams that play 9 games. Either way, it's the rule. Good grief, just live with the rules. Well, here's the thing. Ferris State, the national champion last year, played 16 games. Played 16 of them.
Well, where did this guy go to school?
I don't know, but 16 games.
You got me curious.
Is what Ferris State played last year.
So Brandon Sneh played at Wagner in 2022. He played at Elizabeth City State University. So you got me curious. Elizabeth City State schedule. In 2022, they played 10 games. They were 2-8.
When you have
and it says, can Mississippi State file an injunction? They could, but the player has said, I'd rather just move on.
And he'd get one. He would get one because you're arbitrarily... The threshold is different per level. It makes no sense at all. It's ridiculous. Again, Ferris State played 16 games. So you get punished because your team's bad? Is that how this is going to go? Is that how you're going to apply the rules? And on your last point, either way, it's the rule. Good grief, just live with rules. Apply that in normal life. You don't think that we've evolved, changed laws based on things that have happened? Things evolve and change all the time. Not every rule that ever existed needs to stay like that forever.
I mean, there are lots of rules that are different now than they were when this country was founded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Laws change. Rules change.
Laws and rules change all the time when things evolve and things change. And the NCAA added the transfer portal. And when you do that, players are going to different levels. You need to apply your own rules fairly across all of your divisions.
Yeah.
I don't like the, rules are rules. Sorry. Well, what happens if the rule is bad? We added a 3-point line in basketball. The sports rules can change and evolve and grow. We added targeting in football. Head injuries, concussions, way down as a result. You can evolve as things change. The addition of the portal made the redshirt rule in need of consistency, to be fair to the student athletes. Instead, you've got this poor dude, again in March. What are his options? He's going to work out at Pro Day.
That's it. You know, his college career is over.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And if you were going to do this, you should have told him a long time ago.
Yeah, like why did he go through? He should never have had to go through this process. Like he should have known at the end of his last game at UAB, my college career is over. Otherwise, the time he spent in the portal could have been time spent training for the NFL.
Larry says targeting is not a good example. Yes, it is. It is. I'm sorry. I know the rule, and that rule needs to evolve. It does. But head injuries are way down. They are way down. And that is a good thing. That rule needs to be tweaked. And guess what? They're going to tweak it this offseason, possibly. They're going to vote, I think, in April to change it from targeting ejection to the possibility of targeting no ejection or no suspension. They're evolving that, too. But I disagree with you, Larry. I think that even though it's frustrating at times, there was a need for a targeting penalty in football. Guys are too big and too strong and too fast to be headhunting anymore. And you've seen positive results from a health perspective from that. But they need to keep tweaking it. The NCAA needs to step up and change the red shirt rules as well. Because it's just not fair. And Mississippi State gets screwed here. The player gets screwed here. Who wins in this? Who benefited from this? Nobody. It's your college football fix driven by Ford.
From the
Sports Talk Mississippi, your new home for exclusive sports coverage here in the Magnolia State.
Let me put it to you this way.
Right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
All right, so I'm going to read a text that I got from a source regarding all this. And it says like this. When he entered the portal, this is talking about Mississippi State offensive tackle Brandon Snee, who we just learned will actually not be eligible to play this season. When he entered the portal and when we signed him, referring to Mississippi State, his eligibility was reflected as having a remaining season. That was the understanding throughout the process. He had interest from multiple Power 4 programs, and schools recruiting him were operating under the same understanding. When the NCAA completed its review, they applied the Division II participation rules that were in place during his 2022 season. Those 2022 Division II participation rules differ from today's model. Once they applied that rule from the 2022 Division II season, the determination came back that he had exhausted his eligibility. So in other words, they said, we're going to go by these rules that we had then, not by the rules we have now. And in doing so, his eligibility is exhausted.
Appreciate whoever that was providing context. And again, I ask, who benefits from this? Who benefits from this? Who benefits from the NCAA deciding to apply a past thing to today?
Yeah.
And who benefits from Division II having a different threshold than Division I? Who benefits?
It really is weird that they're all under the NCAA banner. Why do they not have the same rules? I guess part of it makes sense. They have a 10-game season versus a 12-game season. I kind of get that, but
they have a bigger playoff, so they can ultimately play more games.
That makes sense too. Yeah, you're right. Like if he played on a good team, would this be different? I don't know the answer. It's just kind of the same story every day from these. From the NCAA.
Somebody says all this belly aching. It's the guy that's really upset about this.
He's very bitter.
Got us NIL. No, here's what got us NIL. The NCAA's entire existence violated antitrust law, and they finally got sued for it. It took a long time, but they finally got sued for it. The model was always, in effect, illegal. But what really got them was how the money kept going up, and the money kept going up, and coaches were getting these big buyouts and big contracts, and everybody was getting rich, and then the right person realized, wait a minute, is this legal? And then they went to the court, and the court was like, no, it's not legal. That's what got us NIL. It has nothing to do. People blame the media for NIL. It's not media. It's the courts and the NCAA. That's why we got NIL. So I just want rules to be applied consistently in college football. That's what I want. And you've got a 9th-year player suiting up for Montana this year. You've got an 8th-year player suiting up for Miami this year. A 9th year and an 8th-year player get their eligibility rubber stamped by the NCAA. But a guy that played in 4 games can't redshirt.
It's very unusual, but This is it's what I expect. I just expect problems by doing this. The NCAA benefits by showing their cheese and their authority. I guess you're right.
Yeah, the person is right, though. The only people that benefit are the people that are playing against Mississippi State this year. Because the offensive line now was already a question mark, and it's even more of one now. Yeah, that's who benefits from this. Who's got good defensive ends? That's who won today.
Yeah. So for State, look at their depth chart. They had a couple of JUCO guys that redshirted last year. They had the North Carolina transfer, Miles McVay. They have some of these younger guys coming in, but they don't have anybody proven at that left tackle spot. So just from a football standpoint, this is a massive blow to Mississippi State. And look, I'm not 100% sold this guy was going to come in, and I'm not even asking him to be Charles Cross, right? I'm just asking him to be a serviceable left tackle. I think he could have been. I don't know if he would have been or not. But State's offensive line, ultimately is going to be what decides Jeff Lebby's fate at Mississippi State. If they're improved this year, the team can be improved and they can win games and move forward. If they aren't improved, then it's going to be a repeat of last year. And this, Jeff Lebby's calendar will probably end in 2000 or around November 27th, 28th, whatever it is, 2026.
Yeah. That's a shame. And a lot of question marks that need to be answered for Mississippi State, starting here in...
This guy says, I love you guys, but I just hate all
we love you too.
All the anti-NCAA. It worked fine for me and millions of others, but then now we have all this crap. Buddy, it didn't work fine for you. You got screwed out of money when you were in college. Simple as that. You got screwed. If you were an NCAA student-athlete prior to all this, you had money you should have been getting paid, and you didn't get it. So you can be at peace with that. That's fine. Be like, you know what? That's just the way it was. But don't say it worked well for you. It didn't. It kept you kept your earning potential down
arbitrarily, by the way, without your say.
Yeah. USM will trade 3 tackles for a quarterback. I'm listening. We're not giving Camario. You could have Jaden Rashada.
Somebody says the person who took his spot on the roster benefited. Who's taking his spot right now?
That's the thing.
There's no spot to give.
There's no spot to give. The portal's closed. I don't imagine State will go and find anybody who's remaining in the portal.
Can't stand it. All it takes is strong leadership, and we don't have that in college sports. We don't. We don't have it at the conference level. We don't have it at the NCAA level. And by God, let's get all the celebrities we can on Friday to have a fixed college sports summit.
Which, by the way, still no student-athletes will be represented at that event.
We keep adding celebrities, though.
Yeah. Clay Travis is going to be there because we need him. But we don't need any of the actual people who are going to be affected by any changes that are made.
Meanwhile, I think there's a pretty significant geopolitical situation going on that I would prefer everybody in Washington to be focused on. But more on Mornings with Richard Cross tomorrow.
Yeah, not tomorrow. Not with Richard Cross, anyway.
Oh, man. 601-879-4395. Got some scheduling news. Not surprised by this. They actually left this open when they announced this game and the schedule and all that it could be either Saturday or Sunday, but we now know officially Ole Miss and Louisville will open the season on Sunday, September 6th in Nashville at 6:30, and that game will air on ABC. So you will get, the Ole Miss fan out there, your team will get the standalone treatment on opening weekend on ABC. If you care about this kind of thing, ratings interest me. I talk about them a lot. If it's something that interests you, a massive television number is coming to that game. It always goes down like that. Getting the ABC treatment, getting the standalone treatment, people are just going to watch. There's no NFL that day, obviously. Yeah, a huge number is coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive number. And it's a good game. Two pretty good teams.
The Ole Miss fans are sleeping on Louisville. Don't. It's going to be tough. I think you will have a better team than them roster-wise, but
I agree.
They're going to be good.
It'll be a good game. I think it's one of those games that's like probably good for 3.5 quarters, and then you get a late Ole Miss score to salt it away.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. If you told me like the final score is like 41-27, something like that, 41-28, 41-31, something like that, where it's like they're just going back and forth, but, Larry Mize wants to know, why don't you act more like me if Trinidad didn't get his eligibility back? If Trinidad had not gotten his eligibility back, I'd be throwing a party. We'd have flyers and streamers.
Okay, now that you said that, what I'm going to say is going to sound like I'm taking a shot at you, and I'm not. I have positions, and look, I'm a human being, right? But I would like to think when it comes to stuff like this, I'm really principled. I don't care that he plays for Mississippi State. I don't care. Because, number one, Mississippi State, by the way, State being good is good for business here.
You son of a...
But I don't care that he plays for State. I care that he's not getting treated fairly by the NCAA. That's what I care about.
You're all about justice. I hear you.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's not doing my job in the way that you think it is, Larry. But I think that this is wrong, and I don't care what uniform he wears. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
But yeah, Nashville, not in the new stadium. They're not done with it yet, so it'll still be in.
In
you
should go
Stadium.
Cover that game because they have the best press box ever. It's like 30 rows up on the 50. I mean, it's like it should be premium club seating, and it was the press box. I assume it's that. Last time I was there was obviously 2019 for the Music City Bowl.
Changed much.
But why would they change it? They're fixing to build a new stadium. But I'm telling you, for a press box seat, you'll never have better than you get it at Nissan Stadium.
I think my plan is to be there, so yeah.
Just go cover it, yeah.
Absolutely, why not? So, yeah, season opener moved to Sunday. Interestingly enough, Ole Miss will have 2 non-Saturday games this year. Egg Bowl on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Season opener on a Sunday.
Well, there you go.
Pretty unusual.
Yeah.
At least in the SEC, that's pretty unusual.
I mean, it used to be a thing back in the day when there were a lot more Thursday night college football games. I remember State had a couple seasons like that, but we'll see. And when we come back, starting lineups out at Dudy Noble Field for Mississippi State Lipscomb. We'll go over who the Diamond Dogs are putting out in the field tonight and on the mound as Mississippi State looks to get back to winning ways. Game 1 of that series moved up because of the weather. Still don't have any update on what the rest of the weekend looks like. Hopefully we'll have that before the end of the day. We'll do that when we come back at Sports Talk Mississippi with you here on a Thursday.
From the Seabrook.
If it's sports in Mississippi, you'll hear about it here. Sports Talk Mississippi on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We're going to go off the rails just a second again.
It's fine.
Have you seen this McDonald's video thing?
Where the CEO is terrified to take a bite of his own food.
And he calls it the product, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And so now you've got all the other CEOs making videos. Burger King's guy did it, took a huge bite of the Whopper. A&W, which is not a brand big down here in America, but he did it. But the best one is from Wendy's. Because not only does he make a burger, he's like, you got to have a Frosty with a burger. Hey, is this thing working? Oh, our ice cream machine is always working. That's like
piling on.
Yes. I don't even like Wendy's, but there you go.
Man, fast food's really gone downhill.
You got to go in with low expectations.
But the prices is really the issue.
Price. Well, that's everything though. I can't do anything with that. What is Michael Borkey's? Give me your top 3. You go anywhere. You're hungry.
Fast food though.
It's just for you. You don't have to worry about James in this situation.
Okay.
Where are you going to go get fast food? Hit us up on the C-Spire text line, 601-879-4395.
Okay, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's my one. Especially for breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, Chick-fil-A breakfast, quite good.
Because you know what you're getting. It's so consistent. You know exactly what you're getting.
Do you know what one of my favorite meals right now is? I'm not making up. You can go get 30 grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A. It's like 420 calories for 30 nugs. I'm all about that.
It's the best.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A, that's a fine number 1.
Does Chipotle count?
Yes, because they have a drive-thru.
Okay, Chipotle too.
Okay.
Get a big old burrito.
All right.
There's not really any around here. Bojangles 3.
Bojangles, it's a fine choice.
All right, that's my top 3 in that order.
I'm going Popeyes. Popeyes is the best fast food fried chicken. It's better than Bojangles. All right, I'm going to go Mexican, but I'm going old school. I'm going Taco Bell. Taco Bell still hits.
It really does.
Still good. I mean, nothing better than Taco Bell. You talk about an order that has changed through the years for me. My order at Taco Bell is not what it used to be. I'll just put it that way. And then the third one is the hard one, right? Those two are easy choices. It's probably Chick-fil-A. I can't believe there's not a burger in there somewhere as much as I eat burgers, but I've gotten to the point with burgers now where I'd rather go to a decent restaurant, a sit-down restaurant, and order a burger. Because as you said, like the price difference between a Big Mac or a quarter pounder and a actual like cheeseburger at a restaurant is not that different. So if you got time, why not do that?
Right.
Yeah. Waffle House does not count.
No, because you have to sit down. I guess you can take out. But
it's got to have a drive-thru. Fast food has to have a drive-thru.
All right, somebody dropped an Arby's in here.
You're a psychopath. I like Arby's. I like Arby's, though.
I do,
you are
too.
a psychopath.
I do, too.
Yeah. Have you ever ordered off their secret menu? Ever got the Meat Mountain?
No.
It's the thing. The Meat Mountain, it's every meat they have on a sandwich.
If I said that right now, leave the show.
They should know what it is. There's all sorts of secret menus. There's one for McDonald's I'd love to try, but I won't say the name on air. I can't bring myself to order it. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't actually.
I can't. I could. I don't think it's bad. It's off color.
Multiple votes for Raising Cane's. I need to be careful because I want him to buy the Saints and the Pelicans.
Couldn't be more mid. I'll say it. Couldn't be more mid. It's a chicken tender, guys.
It's unseasoned.
You like their sauce. I say it all the time. If I took Zaxby's tenders and put them in a Raising Cane's box and handed you the Zaxby's tenders with the Raising Cane sauce, you'd never know.
That guy would have Elon Musk money.
Yeah, you'd never know.
And he's already worth billions. So please save us, Raising Cane's guy.
Sonic is a good one. I like Sonic. Culver's, not as popular around here, but it's very good.
Got one by my parents' house in upstate South Carolina.
George says Subway doesn't have a drive-thru. There are some Subways that have drive-thrus. The one in Vicksburg had a drive-thru.
Interesting.
Yeah. Culver's is good. There's one in Hoover. That's the closest one, I believe. I love a Culver's. Culver's butter burger and a concrete.
Ooh, speaking of Hoover, knock on wood, hopefully that is a thing that is actually worth attending this year. That'd be great if we can get back to the SEC
There are some
tournament.
people here on the C-Spire text line that know the name of the it's a double cheeseburger with a McChicken in the middle of it. You see it?
We can't say that.
I can't say that? Okay.
We probably shouldn't.
It's a double cheeseburger with a McChicken. The key is they just put a whole McChicken. You got to take the 2 buns out, right? So you don't want to eat 4 buns.
No.
So it's a double cheeseburger with a chicken fillet in the middle of it.
God bless America.
They have there's a whole there was a video on YouTube recently. A guy went around and all the different secret menus. The Meat Mountain is one of them. Meat Mountain, mountain of meat.
Is there one that you outright refuse, no matter what? You would not. I would not eat there. Not happening. Won't do it.
I don't like Wendy's. My family, if they want Wendy's, they know I'm going to get something else. If they tell me, "Hey, will you go pick up Wendy's?" They know I'm stopping elsewhere. But at the same time, I wouldn't just be I'm not ever going to eat at Wendy's. For a long time, it was restaurants that serve Pepsi. I just
couldn't do it.
No, I got to have Coke.
See, my dad is the exact opposite.
I don't want to make a second
Pepsi
stop.
Man.
I don't want to have to stop at a gas station on the way home to grab a 20-ounce Coke or something.
I hear you.
No, there's not really one. There's not one where I'm just no, absolutely not.
See, Marty, this is the one that I will say no to, only because I can't justify the cost. Five Guys. I'll never will.
I
just can't justify
like
the cost.
Guys,
it is good.
That's more of a treat. That's more of I was just saying, I would rather have Five Guys than a Big Mac. So, is the price that different? It really isn't, especially the quality you're getting. I have seen 5-gallon buckets of cane sauce in their cooler while doing. That's what I'm saying. You guys are just eating slop.
Why didn't you dump that on your head?
Culver's is better than Five Guys. That's controversial. In-N-Out, good. Apparently they're getting one in Memphis.
Yeah?
On Poplar, which is the traffic on Poplar is bad already. My God.
And people are going to camp out for that thing.
So when I went to California, I went to In-N-Out. And the line, now look, it's kind of like Chick-fil-A in that the line, it moves efficiently. The service is really high quality there because they're paying those kids $15 an hour. But you're going to wait. But it's a perfectly good cheeseburger. It's not anything that blows your mind or anything.
Yeah.
So, are you a Whataburger guy?
There's one by the house.
Yeah. There's one by the store, the station.
There is one by the station here, too. Gosh, I can't escape them.
Yeah.
Have I told you my Buffalo Wild Wings story, by the way? In high school, there was one opening up in our area, and they said it was the first 20 people or whatever. When we open, we'll get free wings for a year. That was the
I think
deal.
You've told us, but go ahead.
We camped out. Bunch of high schoolers. We camped out for 3 days. Now, we did shifts. One of us would go home and all that. We did it for 3 days. We were first. When the doors opened, our group was first inside. The free wings for a year was 6 wings a week for 52 weeks.
Come on.
That's what it was.
That's if you had just walked in, that's fine.
We camped for 3
camped out
days.
thinking you were going to be able to come and eat wings every day.
Intense, in the summer, in upstate South Carolina. Yeah, that's what we got.
Yeah.
We stopped going after 3 weeks because we were so mad still. It wasn't even worth it.
the Waffle House, one of the Waffle Houses in Vicksburg, decided when I was back in high school, they decided to do an all-you-could-eat. Like you paid like $7.99, and you could just order off the menu for as long as you wanted to stay there. And me and about 6 of my football teammates went, and then the next week they didn't have it anymore.
You shut it down.
I was just like, you're going to keep those double cheeseburgers and hash browns coming, my friend.
Somebody says Chick-fil-A food is mid, service is top tier, though. See, that's the thing. I don't think it's necessarily the best, but it's always
it's consistent.
Good.
Speaking of somebody who worked in the restaurant industry, consistency is the most important thing. Like, I don't want to drive up to your restaurant on Monday and eat something and be, man, that was pretty good, and then drive back again on Thursday and eat the same thing, and it's like, what happened? I don't want that. It's got to be the same. Chick-fil-A, you order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, it is the same sandwich every time you go.
Every time.
You cannot say that about a lot of different restaurants.
We're very loyal to a local diner. We go at least once a week, and everybody in there knows us and all that, because every time it's the same every time, and it's perfect.
Hey, real quick, here's the starting lineup for Mississippi State baseball that we promised you. Leading off and playing second is Drew Wires. Ace Reese at third. He'll bat second. Noah Sullivan's batting third in the DH spot. Blake Beavis is at first base tonight. He'll bat cleanup. Sean James behind the plate, batting fifth. Ryder Woodson batting sixth and playing short. Vitas Valencius, left fielder. James Nunnally in right, and Bryce Chance, bottom of the order in center on the mound for the Diamond Dogs. The right-hander, Ryan McPherson.
Anything to watch for tonight? Other than win?
Just win. Just win. Yeah.
Get back on track.
Like I said, sports talk is lame. Let's just talk about this stuff. If we did a non-sports show, like 3 hours of just movies, I think we'd get some traction. And we couldn't do it every day because people do want to hear the sports. But
this summer, in particular,
y'all's response on the C Spire text line proves that you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten more text today about 90s music and food than we have about any sports issue that we've talked about today.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Do they have Shake Shack in Mississippi? Yeah, there's one in is there one in the Madison area? I'm not sure. I know there's one in Hoover. I don't know if we have Shake Shack or not.
I think there was one in Flowood.
Okay. I like Shake Shack.
But I could be wrong.
It's good, but that's another pricey one, though.
Yeah.
All right. Back in a minute. Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the
Sports Talk Mississippi, to the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
Is possibly on the move. He and the Saints, I'm surprised he's coming back. He did play well, though, in 2025. But he and the Saints could not come to a deal before free agency opens up, and so he will hit the open market. He's been a Saint for a long, long time. Super Bowl champion, steward of the city. All-time, he's certainly going to be in the Ring of Honor. He should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame when his time comes as well.
Great.
It doesn't mean he's not going to be a Saint this year. However, he's going to hit the open market, and Cam Jordan might be done with the Saints.
I think they will get this done. He probably wants to stay in New Orleans, finish out his career. He's been here forever. I can't see him in another uniform. It would look like Rod Walker from NOLA.com tweeted out something like, what's another athlete picture and they're in a different uniform that would be like seeing Cam Jordan? And I sent us this makes the most sense to me. I sent him Matt Ryan in a Colts uniform because, obviously Cam Jordan and Matt Ryan, legendary rivalry that Cam Jordan got the better of. I think they'll work it out. I think they'll get it worked out. The guy's a legend. He deserves to be able to retire in New Orleans. And by the way, as you mentioned, played really well last year for a good defense.
10.5 sacks.
Why not keep him around?
If he does leave, it does put edge on the table for the number 8 pick, though.
It does, but Bain would be gone by that point. So would Reese. So I I saw a draft today that had Love going 4th to the Titans, and I was like, don't you do it.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that.
Cam Jordan will be 37 by the time the season rolls around. He has a July birthday. 132 sacks in his career, including 17 forced fumbles.
Just a great player, an all-time player, for the Saints and in the NFL. Has been one of the best pass rushers in the league the entire time he's been in the league. And like I said, I am very hopeful that he will finish his career wearing the black and gold of the Saints.
Of the Saints.
Yeah, not the Steelers or something.
Ugh, gross. That's not even gold. It's yellow.
It is yellow. It is yellow.
You see Aaron Rodgers is going on the offensive, by the way?
Well, if he had done that in the playoffs, maybe they could have beaten the Texans.
But nailed it.
So are we going to have our friend from, I forget his name, Rob?
Yes.
We need to have him.
Paul.
It's time to start getting him on. We got to start talking about it next week. Start getting some draft talk going.
For sure, especially after the Combine.
Yeah.
Brendan Thompson, Dejon Stribling should have moved up everybody's board after their Combine performances.
Yeah. Get his thoughts on this quarterback class, too, which is not exciting, in my opinion.
No. Ty Simpson going to go number 2.
I'm just telling you right now, I couldn't be more thrilled about having Tyler Shuck, because if you were telling me we were going to the saying I got to get a quarterback at the 9 pick, I would just be like, you know what, just roll the dice. Just go another year with whatever you got. Maybe next year you can be worse.
You know what they would do, though?
What?
Kyler Murray? Or Tua?
Oh, my chest.
See? That's the market.
Yeah, that would be
that the Saints would be in right now. Is that? Who's the other one out there? So it's Kyler, Tua.
I don't know.
I guess is Justin Fields available?
Oh, God, no.
Is Kirk Cousins is on the market right now?
I'm gonna gag here live on the air. Stop naming quarterbacks. Stop talking about the sun. Derek Carr. Now that's something that I think Derek Carr is an outstanding quarterback personally. And if I were an NFL GM, I would move heaven and earth to get him on my team. I would be willing to trade the first pick in the draft to get, if anybody from the Raiders. I mean, just bring him home. Why get Mendoza, who's an unproven commodity? Get someone who has taken you to the playoffs before Las Vegas. What are we doing here? That first pick for Derek Carr, guys, we won't even ask for cash considerations. But you can just sign the paperwork.
Colorado has a fight at spring practice, so football is back.
Oh, we're back. We've never been more back.
I love my favorite football fight thing. It's receiver and DB going at it, and they're grabbing each other and stuff, and finally they start punching. And one, gets in a boxer stance and starts punching the helmet of the other guy.
Yeah, especially those two positions. You use your hands, guys. Don't break them. Idiots.
Sports Talk Mississippi, we will be reacting to baseball live with you tomorrow. State plays tonight, so we'll get to
maybe
recap
tomorrow.
that.
We don't know.
And there's a chance that we're talking about that game live as well. Ole Miss doubleheader starting at 3 o'clock. And we'll watch it, react to it, talk about it all with you coming up tomorrow. Sports Talk Mississippi.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. We'll see you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.